so I am now being bombarded with emails that I would have loved to have had and settled yesterday.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny because your hair, I did not realize how long it was.
Me neither.
And now that you got it cut,
It looks longer.
It looks longer.
No, today
Like,
it's
really
less.
long.
Yesterday it was
And you
very
wear it down
dull.
all the time.
I do. I think it's the layers. It's the
I
layers
think it's because
maybe.
you often
Layers.
come wet. But when it's wet, it's longer, usually.
I think it's you often have it
Layers.
pulled back somehow.
Yeah,
Ish. Or it's
Yeah.
tucked into your sweatshirt or you've been hiding long hair
You've been
for a
hiding
really
your
long
long
time.
my hair's not been this long since before I was married.
Yeah.
Well, when you were saying you were getting your French cut, I thought you were going back to your little bob thing. That's
I
how I
thought-
met you.
I know. That's what I thought I was going to do too. But then I was like, I kind of like it long. And then,
Easy for the summer to put up.
yeah.
Holy
And
cow.
but it just felt like it was flat. It was like,
Mm.
but it was very awkward when the girl was like,
Well,
I-
dark hair, the
I think we've
grays
got-
are more.
The
Right.
true beverage lineup going on. I'm
Yeah,
a little
baby.
bit jealous. Oh my
I'm
God.
Rachel. I'm feeling my Rachel.
Hey, jeez.
No.
so yeah, she was so cute. When she was like, I'm 22, I was like, oh my gosh, you are the same age as my child. And she's like, your hair's just like my mom. I'm like, cause I could be your mom. And then she's like, she put it in and she did this like balayage effect, which I really liked, where she put the dye in the top and then she brushed it down.
Mm.
And she goes, this is gonna have to stay a while. You have a lot of gray and it's really gray. I'm thinking 30 minutes. And I was like, okay.
I received that feedback.
I received that feedback.
I
That is
received
so
that
funny.
feedback.
So she was very sweet. But I will be excited to go back to my normal people. She was
That is why I have my hair dyed every 8 to 10 weeks because you do not want to see these roots.
I'm really gray. I was really gray this last time. And I was kind of embracing it. Like it didn't, but it also, for me, what I notice is it changes the texture of your hair.
Yes.
Like, and I don't like that.
It does change.
The word is hoary.
Yes, it is hoary. The hoary
Okay.
head.
The hoary hairs of age.
It's
It's
in
like
the
they
Bible.
go wing and they get they're
They're very strong.
they're coarser,
coarse.
stronger, a little bit like weird.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Which is why I shall be dyeing my hair until the day that I die.
You think?
Yeah, I do. I don't think I'll be a woman that embraces my old hair. Mostly because of the texture. And
Yeah.
just
I think it's
the
for me. It's
whiteness.
not the whiteness. It's the like. I don't mind that. Like Peter's going gray, and I find it so handsome on him. And
I
I'm
think
like,
on men.
I
it's
think
very
on men
it
it
looks
works.
good. But for me, it was more like I just felt like I had no control over what was happening.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing: men get grittier and kind of sexier as they get older. I think
Women get haggard.
women just look old, and then
Well,
we start to
you
look
know
like
why?
a witch.
Because
We look
we
weathered.
do-
We look weathered.
Weathered. That's a very nice way
That's
of
Jesse's
saying
word.
that-
Look a little weathered.
It's like a whole a little bit like a leather
Leather.
handbag.
Yeah, that's because women. But I mean, even men though who work in the farm all day, like their what skin looks way different than women's.
but
A
it's
weathered
hot.
man's skin is different than a weathered
Yeah,
woman's
it's
skin.
estrogen.
All the things.
It's all the things.
All right, ladies. I am feeling frazzly dazzly. So
Well, I listened to your May-December that somehow
Ridiculous.
again ended in perimenopause.
Like,
You're
at
welcome,
one
everybody.
point, I was like,
You're
I
welcome.
need Amy. She's off.
Just so you know, they didn't tell you guys anywhere I was that day. I was waiting for
We
like,
did
we're
when we
sorry
did
that
our-
we missed Amy. She's not here right now.
Oh.
She didn't leave us. She's like out showing houses. I was like,
We
where's,
did that
where's
for
my
the
shout out
second
from
one.
today?
We
Second-
did that for the
second
second one,
one.
which we're not using because we
So
bombed
bad.
it so
Oh
badly.
my God. Like when the nerd's away.
Yeah.
When the nerd's away, I'm like, these girls. I was gonna start taking notes of like the rabbit trails. I'm like, and they went here, they went here, they went here. You ever tried to bring them back? Rachel went
I
here.
know. I can't. I have no control over her
I was
at
like,
all.
wow, that was a ride. Also, let me tell you what was a ride. On my Ragnar race, she's like, ooh, you want me to do a playlist? And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I totally do. And so while I'm running, I'm like, what am I listening to? She took me on a ride. It was like, I was like,
That's
one
just my
song was
normal
peppy, and then
day.
one was like, if it's gonna get wild tonight. I'm like, okay, this is not working for this hill.
Well,
And then it's like, I think this person's debating suicide. I'm not really sure. But my phone's in my pocket, so I can't like skip. And then there's something like wild and crazy. Like this one's working. Then it's like, I'm like, where are we going on this trip today?
so here's the thing. My brain told me you were going to be running for 7 hours.
oh, like straight.
So I really went deep into a journey.
Yeah, we went on a journey.
Which
When I
is-
got in the van, I was like, that girl took me on a ride.
At least you can always. I put enough so that you could just keep.
I couldn't.
hitting
It was in my
fast
pocket.
forward.
I just whatever played was played.
Oh, that was amazing, and I
Yeah.
apologize,
No,
but
it was great. I was like, wow, it's
I
amazing.
only had like I put together 7 hours of music in about 7 minutes.
Oh my gosh, Rachel.
So that's why.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I literally everything is like. oh, I love
I'll
that,
do
love
it for
that.
you next time. I'll make you a playlist. I'm really good at those.
Oh.
But also, welcome to my normal brain.
I know.
I
Wow,
That's
that
what I
is-
felt like I was in your brain.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, wow, wow. Whoa. Woo!
Every single one of my playlists looks essentially the same.
Yeah.
In the sense that it will range from like extreme melancholy to like elation and everything in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's all I've got. That's how I'm broken. It's just one of the 5 million ways.
No, it's good. We don't say that phrase anymore.
Oh, I mean broken as in amazing.
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I laughed a lot during that podcast.
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, that was the
Wow.
whole point.
Okay,
That's
where
always
are
the
we
point.
going
So
We were going nowhere. We were the
I
bridge
think
to
we're
nowhere.
afraid to
I
say
was like-
who's gonna start.
When the nerds. Since we ended on the high note of perimenopause in our last episode.
I'm just getting started with that. Thank you very much. I'm going to take off on my own journey on perimenopause because I think it is very, very, very poorly.
You're taking a break from recording?
No. I mean, like, I'm just getting. No, I'm not doing that today. But I'm saying I am just getting warmed up. In
I.e., every podcast she will bring up perimenopause.
I think so.
I think
seems
so.
like a nice goal and possibly a sticker.
Possibly a sticker. Sorry for any teen girls. I'm sorry, any man who listens and
That's actually one of the titles. Is going to be "There's no man in perimenopause." So everyone who's a doctor who's ever written about it, who's a man, doesn't count.
There's perimenopause.
Exactly. I'm taking the men out of menopause.
What are you gonna say? Periwomanopause?
It
Yeah.
sounds man in it.
Just peri.
Sorry.
Just peripause.
Perimenopause.
Oh my gosh.
I can't.
Guys, we have. You could tell. This is Maycember. This is
Okay.
what I was talking about. When
I'm
the
gonna
brains
start. Here you go,
don't.
girls.
Yeah,
Bring it
please
in.
Cute
bring
picture.
it.
And I need your phone for just 1 second because this is so cute and you're cute and
Okay,
everything
my
is
notes are
adorable
on it,
from where
so-
I'm sitting, and I'm sure it's not from where you're sitting. So, where?
Crunching in.
I don't even know where your camera's on here.
It's on one of my many apps.
Okay, here we are.
Dun, dun,
This
dun,
is
dun,
the
dun.
beverage lounge. And Amber rocking her new hairdo.
Yep.
I can't really see because you're wearing black and your hair is black. And there we go.
Irrésistible.
Irrésistible.
Yeah, say that again.
Irrésistible.
Irrésistible.
Okay, so when you go to Paris, you're bringing me because that's not good. You'll be
I'm just not
from-
gonna talk, and actually, I probably won't anyway.
say
'cause
what
I'm
you
like,
Yeah, you'll be. I know my kids last night were
Stunned.
literally like, they were teasing me with their French.
Mm.
And they're like, Mom, I'm going to be like, bonjour, je m'appelle. And I was like, bonjour.
Bonjour.
And I was
Bonjour.
like, I looked at them and I was like, no, you're not. Because
I
you're
don't know them.
literally going to be speechless when you're there. And then you're all going to stare at me, including your father, and be like, tell them I want a cup of tea, please. Tell them.
And feed them something.
Yeah.
How do you say you want a cup of tea?
Je veux un tapis, s'il vous plaît.
Je veux un de tapis.
Non,
s'il vous
je
plaît.
veux.
Permettez-moi d'aller à la salle de bain.
Ooh.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah. Actually, that's salle de bain is bathroom, but it means with a shower. So usually that means you need to take a shower.
Oh, okay.
If you just-
Sansaban?
Salle de bain.
That's what we learned. That's my high school French for you.
Yeah, but if you want to just go to the bathroom, it's les toilettes or the WC.
Well, that's I heard the word toilet.
Toilet. Yeah.
Lady
I just sold a
toilet.
house that had 2 bidets in the toilet. I was like, this is a bougie toilet.
Mm-hmm. Everybody has bidets
Bidets.
over there.
Yep.
Bidets.
Yeah.
I like bidets. Okay, guys, rein it in.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
Amy's
Okay.
here. Amy's here. We gotta
Okay.
Who's starting?
I'm starting.
Oh, you're starting.
I'm helping you all focus. Okay.
Thank you.
So going off of a little bit with our last, when we last left our heroes, minus me, because I was deep in the North Maine woods.
Yes.
Lost. You did talk about perimenopause, and that is where we are in reality. It's where we are. And so we've done a couple of podcasts on Mindy Pell's Fast Like a Girl, and she's coming out with a book, Eat Like a Girl. And I don't know if I shared on the podcast, but I did a thermography scan. Did I tell you? Did I talk about that on the podcast?
You didn't. You told us, but I don't think you said.
Okay,
on
I
the
did a
podcast.
full body thermography scan just recently with this. I'm not sure you'd call her a naturopathic doctor in Brewer, but she does full body thermal imaging. So there's no radiation or anything, but you can see like literally from forehead to toes. You can see.
I want to do one.
It was kind of amazing, and I've got the thermal imaging. So, and it will be something that I do yearly. But this was a baseline because I haven't been to the doctor since Lennon was born 11 years ago. And part of, I kind of take pride in that, the fact that I don't go to the doctor. But then on the flip side, I always say she lived and she died. She lived and she died. That's going to be on my epitaph. But really, I want to be a good steward of my body, and I want to be proactive. And so, and Eliza died from breast cancer. And so, and to honor her, I had a physical with my doctor in, a few months ago. And so she's like, you're kind of in that span of time, before you hit 50, it would be good to get a mammogram. It'd be good to get a colonoscopy just to have a baseline or whatever. And so this full body thermography, does imaging for both of those things, does for even more than that. Now, Rach having like precancerous polyps, probably a true colonoscopy is good for you yearly. But like for me, just it shows all of your organs. It shows if they're, and her passion is colon cancer because that's what's in her family. So that's why she's so passionate about it. And so, anyways, I got a baseline, and then 3 months from now, I'm going to go and get another imaging. And so then that will be my baseline for us and for my body, and then from there I'll go yearly. And so in that scan, I did it with my friend Dawn. Shout out to Dawn. This naturopath is her daughter's mother-in-law, and so that's how we heard of her. And so anyway, we both had our scans, and then you get a 45-minute session with her where she literally reads through the scans for you from top to bottom, and she does recommendations of like, I have one metal filling in my mouth. And so she is like holistic to the core. And so anything, like if you've ever had a root canal, like she would suggest you getting that removed actually, because everything with your teeth, like there's this chart, your teeth are connected. They're like pathways to all other parts of your body. And so if you've got issues with certain parts of your body, she can trace it back to, did that tooth have a root canal? It's very interesting because we are holistic, right? We're totally connected. So I've never had a root canal, but I do have one metal filling. So she's like, you could have it removed. Or she's like,
what would you do instead?
You would put that, what they put in now, because now they know that aluminum's bad for you. The white fillings that they do. But this I had when I was in high school. I had one cavity.
Is it the root canal because I have an enamel.
A root canal, I think you'd have to pull the tooth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's certain things where I'm like, meh. But I've never had a root canal. But the metal tooth, she's like, you could have the metal removed. There's a biological doctor in the Portland area. Okay. But she's like, or you could maybe think about having just doing a metal detox, a metal detox once or twice a year, because it does leach into your body.
Yeah.
So just interesting things, right? And so we worked through the scan, and so the biggest thing is she noticed that, well, I can tell I've got my knees are starting to degenerate, which I know because I've run my whole life. So, I will start walking more. My fingers have the beginnings of arthritis in. But a big thing that surprised me was she's like, you really do have a lot of inflammation in your body. And we all have inflammation, either systemic or acute or whatever. But I had a lot in my face, but I had that cold for days on end.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's like, but that's where in the 3-month scan, we'll do it again and see, is it still there? And if it's not, then it could be systemic, but I had it in other parts of my body too. And so, and then in my breasts, one of them said low risk. And she's like, we'll never say no risk just for liability. So but low risk is very, very common. But in the other one, there's increased risk. There's a couple spots. And so she's like, mammograms are like lights on and lights off. Like they're like, you have something or you don't, where thermography can catch things like 5 years out even. Like there's something here. If it stays the same, then it's fine. We'll just watch it every year. That's why in 3 months, if it's exactly the same, she's like, we're not really going to worry about it. We'll just watch it. But if it's increased in that amount of time, then we'll take other steps. But so the biggest things, there were lots of little things, but was lots of inflammation and then an increased something risk in one of my breasts. And so I did that. And then in Mindy Pell's book, one of the fasts that she talks about is that 72-hour water fast. Remember that fast that she talks about? And a big reason why people would do that, you'd only do it like once or twice a year, but 3 reasons why you would do a 72-hour water fast is if you want to get over a weight loss plateau, if you want to reduce inflammation, and if you want to kill cancer cells. And so I was like, well, and she had asked Dawn to do it because Dawn had a bunch of things in her body. She's like, why don't we start with this and then we'll go from there. And so Dawn had said, I'm going to do this. Do you want to do it with me? And then I said to Rachel, do you want to, or I said to you guys, do you want to do it too?
No.
Amber said no. Rachel said yes. And what
I didn't make it to 72,
but what I found interesting is from reading her book and from studying her things, I just happened to be in the window in one of my power phases that she calls it, where longer fasts are really, there's a couple places in your monthly cycle where a 72-hour fast would work. And I was in that. And you, I do not think were.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up having a major cortisol dump. Like, actually, I was poloing Amy.
Yeah.
And I was sitting. I don't know if it's because I was sitting.
Let me just say what you did first. Day one, like when you do these 72-hour water fasts, they specifically say you really shouldn't exercise because the goal for the 72 fast is heal your, like killing cancer cells, reducing inflammation. And she she had a manic day one, where she's like, I beasted out all my gardens and it's 9:30 and I'm writing my book and I think I'm a little manic. And I was like, go to bed.
Yeah, I didn't sleep well either.
Yeah.
I was on because when you fast, you can go into sort of like a adrenaline high that is pretty sustained. I mean,
well, your body's like, oh crap, we might be dying. Let's figure out, if you eat food all the time and then you stop.
But I don't. I fast almost every day. I fast like intermittent fast every breakfast, and so I had already done the week before. I had done a 24-hour, and then it's common for me to do 16 or 18 hours, and so I was at I think the 36 or something mark, and the next morning Kurt was like, you look so white, like you have no color in your face, and I wasn't feeling well, and instead of feeling on a nice high, an energy high, I was
which you did feel at the first
24 hours. I was like, I could have built a house. I was literally like, I felt great. I really did beast out so much, but and I didn't actually know. I've never done one where I was trying to go 2 to 3 days with just water, which we've done our reset before, where it's like you still have 500 calories and you have some sustenance and some bone broth and whatever, but this was just water.
Right.
And this wasn't even I wasn't even taking Slim, which I never ever skip.
Right.
Unless I'm intermittent fasting. So to go 2 whole days without, so that would be 4 Slims worth.
Yeah.
Of skipping that. I think so much of my body was like, what are you doing?
Right.
That's
what is happening?
Yeah.
What is going on? And then I think for sure, I don't know. So any wisdom that anyone has, but maybe you know this now. I haven't finished reading the book. So I don't know, because I don't have a uterus. I don't know how to tell what part of my cycle I'm in.
She
and
just
I
did
do
a
still
really good
ovulate.
One of her more recent podcasts in the Resetter, she just talked about that. Remember I messaged you right after, and I was like, I don't think you were in your right phase, because she said those of us who are still having our monthly cycle, she's like, you're kind of bound to your cycle, like, so she's like, and it's like, oh, I know clearly where I'm at,
right.
And so, but she's like, those are you have parameters, and they're pretty clear parameters. She's like, those of you that are not having your cycle, she's like, part of it in the beginning is you're learning yourself. So you're learning, like, And we've talked about how sometimes, some days you wake up and you don't even think about food. You don't eat until 2 p.m. And then some days you wake up and you're like, I am starving.
Yeah.
She's like, listen to your body. And if you're starving, feed it.
That's kind of where I'm trying to be, but it would be nice to. I've never in my entire life, I'm almost 46 years old. I've never kept a schedule of my period.
Me neither. I'm just starting now.
Okay.
3 months in.
Okay.
And I also
All right.
think,
Well, that's good.
I also
Yeah.
think that you're still so close postpartum, like not
Postpartum.
post surgery. So like
Post-hyster.
post hysterectomy. So
Yeah.
like
For sure.
I'm 5 or 6 years out, and I know my cycle. Like I'm like, oh, I'm in my nurture phase.
Yeah.
Oh, because I still have those 3. I'm still a little mad at the Lord that we only get 3 like perfect days, but like
I think we get 4 or 5, but not many.
not many, not enough.
Oh my, that's so crazy.
So like for me, that's when I have those. That's when I register. Oh, I'm trying to now. Those are the things that I'm calculating.
Mhm.
I'm calculating my 5 days, and then like putting that in like a calendar or on my phone. I'll just like put a little
Your power days.
my power days.
Because everything else is pretty much nurture.
Well, pretty
Well,
much.
you've got your power phase when your period starts, like the first 10 or 11 days. Then you've got the manifestation phase that you love,
Yeah.
which is those 4 or 5 days
Yeah.
of like everything, the stars align.
So when all the stars align, and then I'm tracking that. My husband started doing something that I thought was really interesting for him for his weight, and it's kind of similar. Like he used to weigh himself every day and would get so discouraged, and now because he's a math guy, he does weigh himself every day, but he only calculates it per week, and so then he can actually see the true difference. So I'm just taking some time because my life is, I'm in a big transition right now, to just calculate that,
Yeah,
and then
that's
once I
nice.
settle, I will be able to then say, okay, where's that power phase in the beginning? Where's the nurture phase? And but until you,
I think now you listen to your body. If you wake up and you're starving, you eat.
Yeah.
And if you feel super strong, then,
because your hormones are still,
yeah.
they're still figuring out, because you still have hormones.
And
They're
probably you
still-
don't do a
Believe
72
me, I
hours
know.
fast for a while. And she said you only do it once or twice a year anyway.
Yeah.
And so, because it is, so just to get back to that, like, there's different reasons why you do different fasts. And so I think that you were not, you might have even been in your nurture phase where you were like detrimental. I don't know, but you were just kind of like, you're doing it, sure.
Which I love. I love a good spontaneous whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here for it. I mean, I honestly would have done the run with you if I physically could.
Yeah,
And
like
I
you
was
could be our driver next year.
Yes. I was like, I'll be the driver. But I would love to know exactly. I have hunches,
Yeah.
and then my brain just quickly forgets. And
and then you add in life stress, where the goal is to no tigers. The goal is not to, to keep cortisol low for us in our age, and you have crazy stressful
that
days.
was a really
or
big
whatever.
bummer to me, actually.
Yeah.
Because cortisol does so much damage to our bodies.
Yeah.
And then, so I had done all of this clean fasting for 36 hours, and then I had a massive cortisol dump. And instead of it feeling good, that does, especially with me, I was like, when that happens, when it's sort of a head to toe gush, which you can feel, literally, it is massive. It feels like a panic attack.
Yeah.
And so now your body's in a fight or flight mode, and that wreaks havoc on your guts, it wreaks havoc on your brain, it wreaks havoc on my skin.
But you still did, I think you still, in doing a 36-hour fast, there was still good that came from that, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and my garden's ready for plants now.
Yeah, so good. And go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna do some research. I follow this really cute hippie. You'll love her. I'll send her to you. She's this cute, adorable hippie that is a naturopath, and like she's pregnant, and she does adrenal cocktails.
Yeah.
And so she talks about, and she struggles with cortisol dumps
And adrenal fatigue.
fatigue, and she makes these drinks like with orange juice and things like that to help suppress cortisol. Like there's things we can eat.
I need all of those things.
Yeah, I'll send you.
It's honestly a daily struggle.
Let me see that.
And in the
So I can
Walmart,
give her a
the
shout
natural
out.
refrigerated section, there's those little shots.
Yeah.
I've never seen them there. I see them on
In
like TikTok. all the
they're
time.
in Target
I see
and they're in
people
Walmart.
making
You can make
things.
them,
Yeah,
so you
I
can make
make mine.
specific little shots, like a turmeric shot or a, You know what I mean? So those, you might buy a couple of those even sometime.
Is
and
that
find a
all about
recipe.
cortisol?
Well, there's different ones for different things. Some are for
Oh.
inflammation, some are for stress, some
For
are
a
for
Pinterest girl, you just need to go on
Yeah.
and pin adrenal cocktails and cortisol, like suppressants.
That's
And
good.
I get a ice cube. I make them. I tried to give you some, but
Oh, yeah.
I make them for immunity. Like I'm gonna
Yes.
start drinking them today when I get home, and tonight and
Mhm.
tomorrow before my flight.
Yeah.
Like just to like bump up my immunity
Totally.
before going on the plane.
Which, by the way, fasting on the plane is great because you don't digest in the air. I read that somewhere. So if you were to fasting in the air is the perfect place to fast.
And I don't want to pee. And
Well, I really like the crackers that they give you. The little
I think
Biscoffs. That's the only
snacks.
time I ever eat them. I love those.
You don't
I'll
okay.
save
I
them.
love
honey. I'll
digest
save-
in the air.
I read that somewhere. Because the elevation or whatever, like your body, it's so
it makes
just
sense
it makes so much sense.
because everybody's sick when they get
and
off
it's
the
also
plane.
when your immunity is the lowest.
Yeah.
So
So we're like, we pumped up, like we are packing for our kids. Like I told Peter, I was like, we got like emergencies, like to
All the
put in their
things.
water and all, like we're busting it out. So that's what I'm doing because I can already feel something coming on
Yeah.
because I'm just
Stressed.
stressed. Yeah.
when Dawn did the 72-hour fast, because the goal of the 72-hour fast is healing. The goal is to detox, which you probably were doing some,
Mhm.
to heal, to kill inflammation, and to kill cancer cells. That's the goal of that fast. And so, and not to beast out your gardens. And so Dawn was given, she had stones. So it was, she was also taking a supplement to break up, it was either kidney stones or gallstones.
I thought.
Gallstones, stone break or break stone. And so while she was doing the 72-hour fast, her body, the goal was to break up those stones. And I guess the break stone's supposed to just dissolve them and whatever. She was massively detoxing. She was throwing up. She was on the couch. And so different bodies react to different things, right? And so, and she's also had a hysterectomy, so who knows what phase she was in too, but her body was also working extra to do those extra things. And so it was major for her. Okay, and so I just want to talk about that a little bit. My reasons for doing it, and then I literally recorded every single day. I won't read it because it'll bore you guys, but I recorded how much water I drank. I recorded how I felt. I recorded. There's a really great app that you can download for free. It's called, I think it's just called Life.
I love it.
Yes, and so you can record all your fasts on it. It tells you when you go into ketosis. It tells you when you go into autophagy. It tells you when to go into cell regeneration.
Just so you know, did you see on her Facebook they're changing that soon and you're gonna have to pay for it?
Oh, then I will not pay for it.
Yeah.
But
I just
anyways,
want
I
to.
do like it. Yeah.
I just saw that the other day because I was just about to download it and be like, I bet Amy has
I
this.
mean, it might only be like
I do.
it might only be a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't
I don't need it. I don't need it. It's nice to
love
see
it.
when you're doing it.
Yeah.
So, when we did our 2 podcasts on Fast Like a Girl, I had a little teenage girl message me afterwards, and she was talking to me about fasting, how she wanted to do a 40-day fast, and I said,
What?
I don't think in this stage of life for you that is wise.
40 days?
Mhm. And I said also
No eating or drinking?
just liquids.
Okay, Jesus
Right.
was under
Mhm.
the power of the
Right.
Holy Spirit.
And I think for teenage girls, I think
Ooh.
always, I think fasting, if you have any type of history with food, and I was very frank with her, but I said, I don't know your relationship with food. I don't know your relationship like with your body, anything like that. But I think if your goal is to get closer to the Lord, maybe you do a 24-hour fast, or maybe you skip breakfasts for 40 days, or maybe, do you know what I mean? But I think
or give up social media for 40
Right,
days.
there's all different kinds
There's
of
lots
fasts,
of ways that can
right.
drive you to the Lord in prayer.
Right. And so I think for teenage women who are listening to this podcast, if there's any relationship with food that's hairy a little bit, I think fasting can dance that line of, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you just have to be
Why,
so
yes,
careful.
I do,
Yes.
as someone who is blue
Eating
papered.
disorders. Let's just
Right,
call
yes.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so a 72-hour water fast, I mean, it does help with a weight loss plateau, but like there's still an end. There's still an end.
Yes.
It's 3 days and you're done.
Well,
Do you know what I
and
mean?
also, I would like to speak into that. You still have a metabolism. Young teenage girls have metabolisms. Their
Well, you're
bodies,
still growing.
You're still growing.
growing.
You're still changing.
Right.
There should be really no reason for teenagers and young adults, even I would say, up to 30 to do
Too much.
Anything
Too much.
extreme. I think they could do a Plexus 3-day reset.
Yeah.
I think that's good for anybody.
but that's 500
You're
calories.
500 calories a
and
day.
you're
You're reducing inflammation. There's reasons for it, but I think that's
And also in that, you're still consuming every 2 hours.
consuming every 2 hours. I do think what made this, I would not say this was difficult for me. I wasn't hungry until probably 70 hours. But one of the reasons is I think that you shut you're digesting nothing. You know when you break your fast, like the days that I break my fast early and have breakfast, I'm like hungry all day because you rev up your machine.
Yeah.
So your machine's not revved, like you're just drinking water. You can drink like active or element or minerals. I would do more minerals next time. I did have a low grade headache the whole time, and I was like, it doesn't feel like a calf. No, it wasn't
No?
that. It was a mineral thing, and she talks about that a lot. Not the element minerals. There's a mineral that Dr. Mindy,
MCT, the
No.
coconut.
beam minerals and beam electrolytes. So but element is the same thing, LMNT. So when you do a longer fast, it's still, you can still, and you're not breaking your fast, you could still, like I had an active, a hydrate.
Okay.
One hydrate both of those days to still, like, you can still get your electrolytes and still get minerals.
Yeah, I wish I could still take my Slim because.
And you
that
could
is-
probably still do the Slim, honestly. I think so.
It wouldn't spike my insulin.
I don't think so. A lot of people have said that that's because it's only 5 calories, and it is an inflammation reducer, and
Yeah.
it's a blood sugar balancer.
Yeah, it just
You know what I
helps me with
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah.
it's the thing I miss.
Yeah.
The most. Everything else, I'm like.
But
I'm
you're not
good.
revving up, you're not digesting anything, you're not consuming anything. So your body is. So my reasons, well, to do it because Dawn wanted me to do it. She wanted a buddy, and then I asked you guys, but you guys would come do this with me too. So to support a friend.
I knew I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
totally
in the
fine.
right space.
And I did want to get past a weight loss plateau. I bit my scale. I don't hardly get on the scale anymore, but you know when you know. And I was like, I'm going into the
What are you
summer.
talking about? My pants look great.
So I was like, I do feel like I want to get past a plateau. And then my scans, my scans that came back from thermography, the 2 things were, I mean, I don't know if it's cancer, but I do, the specific things that 72-hour water fast does is it kills cancer cells, and it massively reduces inflammation. And so I was like, it'd be an interesting test to see, because I'm going to go back in 3 months just to see if that did anything. And then I also really did, for 3 days, I was like, I am going to use this time to really seek the Lord's face on some specific things and with our family and with life, just, to actually use it as a holy, like a spiritual experience too, like while I'm not eating, to spend that time in, just as I'm doing my life, puttering. And the other thing too, because I have a daughter, I want her to have a really great relationship with food, and even with exercise. Like this Ragnar race I just did, like it was all about fun with friends. It was not, that's what we focused on. And so nobody in my family even knew I did it. So I came back just because life was kind of crazy that weekend. I came back from a women's retreat that weekend, and I started it at like 3 p.m. on Sunday when I got home, and we're just doing life and puttering and all the things, and then I think I was done Wednesday night, and just, there was school, there was track practice, there was whatever, and nobody even had a clue that I was doing it. And so in a way, it was kind of cool that
You weren't missing like a big family feast.
nope,
Yeah.
and they didn't notice anything off, and so it made it even feel a little, I mean, now that I'm telling the world, but it felt almost sacred, like I'm just, it's not this big broadcasting thing, do you know what I mean? And so, okay,
I do want. Can I just speak into the whole teen thing?
yes.
Henry saw me reading this books. He saw my books. He heard me talking about it. He heard me talking about whatever and fasting, and he's used to me doing intermittent fasting, because he'll say, "Mom, can you try this?" And I'll be like, "Well, I'm fasting, buddy. I'm gonna wait."
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, he was like, "Dad, I want to do a fast," and we were like, "You are a healthy, growing teenage boy. I can't think of a good reason for you to do a fast, but I can think a lot of reasons why you shouldn't. Like your brain, unless you're sick, unless you're struggling with something specific. I mean, but I was like, I just fundamentally and a principle alone, I think that
And you could fast so many other things if you really
I
want to
think
fast.
if you
That's
really
Fast
want to
your
grow with
media,
your
fast your phone.
yes, social
Right,
media.
yeah.
If you really want to grow with the Lord, and that's your
Fast something
reason,
that will be really hard for you.
Yeah. yeah. And
Yeah.
as someone who was actually blue papered for an eating disorder and was in a mental institution, I would
Right.
say
It's too dangerous.
it's too dangerous. And if it's about your body or it's about your weight, like
Motives are tricky. They're
Mo-
tricky.
yeah.
and for me, I was scared to start fasting again because of my body, but I'm in a totally different place now
Mhm.
where I am not. I'm 45 and I need to change the way. But I actually, with my trauma therapist, worked through fasting before I started even intermittent fasting, even skipping breakfast. I was like, I need to talk this through and make sure I'm in the right space
Mhm.
and that my body's ready for it, because I didn't want my body to panic of, oh no, she's doing it again.
Right.
So there's a lot, if you want to, there's your motive of why you want to do it. And
we're in our 40s. Our bodies are very different right now.
That's what I was gonna say. Even motive aside, it might just be like,
well,
I
I'm
do wanna-
speaking to young ones. Like,
Yes,
that's what I'm
like,
saying.
Yeah, like
it's totally different when you've had babies and all of it. It's just a different. It's like this is not one thing is not the other.
Right.
no,
And,
yeah, apples and oranges.
Yeah, our bodies are not growing and
Well, and also this girl I was talking to, she's full on into track season. I was like, you don't fast in a sports season. I would never do this if I was training for a race.
yeah, no.
This point of this one is healing.
Yeah.
And other ones, like we do at church, we do 21 days of prayer and fasting. And so as a family, when we talk about fasting, so as a family, we give up specific things. Like we'll give up media, we'll give up whatever. But then as a family, we won't do treats for those 21 days. It's fasting sweets and treats, or maybe, you know, if you're a little older, you could maybe do breakfast or something like that. But this is not, your 40-year-old body is very different than your teen and 20-year-old body.
Your brain hasn't fully developed.
And if you're pregnant and nursing, you shouldn't fast, period.
Well, I mean, it's so sweet that she even.
Yeah,
asked
it
you.
was really
That's
sweet.
great.
And we had a really good
And so-
conversation about it. And
Yeah.
just, you know, I said, you know, I guess I would ask you why.
Mhm.
I also think that we are such a go big and go home, go big or go home society. Like,
Yeah.
why 40 days? Why not maybe do 24 hours if you really
or
want to do
12
it?
hours.
Yeah, or breakfast.
Mhm.
Or, you know, and
Yeah.
then also look at your schedule. Do you have a track meet this weekend? I wouldn't do it at all.
Mhm.
You know, and so just kind of talking through all of those things.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And so, okay, and so the goal, those are my reasons, my 4 reasons. Support a friend. I did want to get past a weight loss plateau. My body scans that showed inflammation and cancer, and then seeking the Lord's face on some specific family things. And so, and I had the Life app, which I do recommend because you can see, and it is encouraging to see like, okay, I've entered ketosis. Okay, I've entered autophagy where it's actually killing off my gross old cells. Okay, I've entered cell renewal where it's actually building new cells. So that was kind of cool to see. I did a lot of Himalayan salt, which helps with headaches and just on my tongue or in my water.
I did too.
And I would do, I did do a hydrate on not Sunday but on Monday and Tuesday, and that made a humongous difference. I was not hungry at all until just a couple hours before I broke the fast because I knew I was getting Chipotle, so I was like, kind of excited about it. I will say that let me see. I drank 4 40 ounces each day. That's a lot, yeah.
Did you pee nonstop? Or
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I pee a lot because I do drink a lot. And I did run the low headache, and researching more afterwards, I do think it was because I really don't drink a ton of coffee. I'll have days where I drink a lot, then I'll have days where I drink none. And it just felt different. And so listening, she would like the element minerals, the bean minerals, I would do that again. Okay, so
when you're saying beam,
BEAM, beam.
beam, okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like lima bean.
Oh, lima beans.
Like, I was like, what's a beam?
Okay, so just to give you a recap, and then just if people were to do it, so we could go with my experience, and then my pivots that I made afterwards. Okay, my daytimes, I would not say I was super fresh and alert. Sometimes people will say you enter this new realm of brain.
I had that for sure.
Yeah, and so I feel like my brain was still like, just to be super honest. I did not get the acute mental clarity that some talk about. I didn't have any cravings for anything. My skin and my body felt fabulous. Way less bloat. My mouth, I never felt like I needed to brush my teeth, although I did. But like, because you're just, you know, in the morning when you wake up and you have like a film, like none of that. So that was kind of interesting. You know what I mean? I slept super deeply. I always woke up refreshed and alert. It was easy for me to get out of bed. But I was ready for bed by like 9. I was like, whew, my day is done. My biggest complaint would be the dull headache kind of throughout. So, and I would do this a couple times a year, like maybe like a spring and winter thing. Okay, so pivots moving forward. Having done the thermography with Jen, listening to Mindy, reading her books and things like that. One of the major things, and we all know that, or at least I know this, I've known this for years and I just have refused to switch, but I've switched and I will stay switched, even working out, is she's like, you should not ever wear antiperspirant, especially with your pits are so close to your breasts. And she's like, sweating it's a pathway, it's a passageway, and you've got to you're blocking the pathway. Sweat is like, you're detoxing. And so she's like, you're blocking it.
I mean, that was a long time ago.
Oh gosh, I know.
It's like I haven't worn antiperspirant since I was a
I do, because I don't like sweating. And so I'm done.
Good
I'm
girl.
done. And I'll
That's
tell you what I love.
linked to cancer.
Absolutely. So many things are directly linked to cancer.
Right. I'm just saying that's one of them.
Lumi is my new
Yes, I was going to recommend it. That's what
Yes,
I
I
was
love
going
it.
Lumi Tangerine's my favorite.
That's mine too. I have my purse. High five. And
Lumi,
it's total body.
Lumi.
It's
Lumi.
whole
I got
body.
it.
You can put it under your girls if
You
you're
can
like
put it
sweaty
anywhere.
and on your inner thighs before you go for a run.
Okay, all right.
I'm telling you.
No, it's great.
Where
In
did you
my
get it?
it's
Walmart,
Target, anywhere.
Oh.
Lumi.
I wanted to try
It's
it.
$15, so it's an investment.
It's so
but-
good. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then if you can also get it in a tube.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
put
I don't want that.
no. Listen, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
So I put that. So I have shoes that you're supposed to wear with like ballet flats, and so my feet.
It's
You put the cream, the
Okay.
Lumi cream on the bottom of your feet,
Yeah.
and your feet don't stink when it's
Oh,
when you
yeah,
like
when
if
you
you
get
have to
sweaty.
wear like ballet flats or heels
Yeah.
or different like I have to wear dressy shoes.
Yeah.
I don't obviously rub this on the bottom of my feet.
I would. On my race this weekend, this was rubbed everywhere
Yeah,
for
Nice.
36 hours.
For
it was really good. It's really good.
Okay, I do. I love it. So it's $15 as an investment, but okay. Okay, so that's for me. I've known it for years and years and years, but I just
So
refuse.
proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm
you.
actually shocked to hear that you have been using antiperspirant.
I have
knowing
Toms.
you.
I use Toms a lot, but
Oh, okay.
in Toms, but I always have a Secret or a Dove in my bag, always, because I don't like to sweat when I run. Okay, the other big thing that Mindy Pels talks about and Jen was talking about on the thermography is my major pivot, other than my DO, is when I break my fast every day, my goal is to break it with 30 grams of protein.
Mhm.
And to have 30 grams of protein every meal, with the big goal being
Wow.
1 gram of protein
For every pound.
your ideal weight.
It is.
So I
Per
would
day?
be,
Yep.
like per day, my goal would be 135 to 140 grams of protein.
Yep, that's mine. too.
Wowzers.
Mhm.
Is that what we're supposed to have?
Yep.
If that's your ideal weight, it's
Whatever your
actually
ideal weight
easier
is.
than
It's
you
very
think.
easy,
It's
actually.
very easy.
Yep. And
Right.
so, because as women, our muscle mass, like the way we keep our muscle mass, there's 3 ways we keep our muscle mass. One is reducing stress, no tigers, that's huge. One is massively bumping up our protein, and one is bumping up our weights, becoming weightlifting.
Big weights,
Mhm.
lift big
Yeah,
weights.
big
That's
weights.
I
Yep.
chant that to myself.
And so one way, it's on they're not rebranding, they're what's the word when someone takes their stuff off their shelf and they reformulate it.
Yeah.
Perfect Aminos, it's being reformulated right now, so it's not on the shelves right yet, but Perfect Aminos is a powder. It does not break your fast. You put it in your water. It's 0 calories, but it's the equivalent of 20 grams of protein. And it's the perfect it's Perfect Aminos. It's like what your body needs. The lemon lime tastes like puke, so I'd recommend the berry. But so that, and it doesn't break your fast, but that's an easy way, a non-calorie way to get the protein that you need. So it's
What is that? What is
Perfect Aminos. It's a powder. You can
A
get it
powder.
online, or you can get it at the Natural Living Center. Don't get the lemon lime.
Okay.
You know what puke smells like?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, know. I have no idea.
But
I've
the
never had
strawberry and the
children.
wild berry is actually not bad. And you're supposed to drink it on an empty stomach, like before you work out. It's a wonderful pre-workout.
Okay.
And so it's equivalent to 20 grams of protein.
Wow.
And so
Is that what it looks like? Just so I know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Don't
That's
get
what
the lemon lime.
Okay, don't get the
Let me
lemon.
just stress that. Let me stress
Okay.
that. Okay.
The other one that
Time to retool,
hold
Perfect
on.
Amino.
The other one that Mindy talked about, that when she talked about this, I listened to that podcast, is Truvena, T-R-U,
If you're talking to your mic, darling.
Talking to your mic,
Tree-
darling. Okay.
T-R-U-V-A-N-I, Truvani, and that's a woman created it, and it's a clean protein that they talked about a lot.
Okay.
Oh, look at
I'm bringing out show and tells. Okay.
Ooh.
So, okay, yep, keep that. So I did bring some protein show
Amber,
and
can you
tells.
take a little video of Amy doing her little show and tell?
Yes. So that would be, I would say I'm on the same journey as you with that, Ames.
Yes.
We should hold each other accountable.
I'm also on the same journey.
Okay, so other things that are really, really high in protein that have clean ingredients, cleanish. And if you just need to, oh my goodness, on Instagram there's this guy I follow. I can't remember his name, but oh shoot. Anyways, crazy things to just sneak protein into your stuff. But like, so I'm just always looking for like, last week I made like a high protein, it was like a veggie chili, essentially. I used my venison sausage, tons of veggies, but it was a creamy chili, taco chili. And so what makes it creamy is you put in your Ninja like a cup of cottage cheese.
I've been putting cottage cheese in
In
everything.
That's what I was
You
gonna
can
say.
bake cottage cheese into a tortilla wrap. You can literally spread it on parchment paper, bake it in the oven, and it becomes like your wrap.
Cottage cheese is a miracle.
It's a miracle. I'll tell you what else is a miracle. I made a pizza. So this is like, by being creative is kind of fun for me. Like I want like 50 grams of protein per meal, but like a little Caesar pizza, you take a can of the white canned chicken meat,
Yep.
mix it with an egg, a quarter cup of Parma cheese, and make it a little pizza disc, right? Cook it in the oven with spices or whatever. And so that's your crust, but that's your protein. And when it comes out of the oven, you cut up a bunch of romaine lettuce and like Bolt House Farms dressing. It's refrigerated, it's clean, it's like 20 calories or whatever. And so you've got like a chicken Caesar salad pizza that's clean and it's worth like 50 grams of protein. Okay.
Wow.
When I make my taco soups, the Quest chips, I just buy myself little individual bags, but this little bag of chippies right here is 18 grams protein.
Wow.
18 grams. Okay. These little, we always have these when we camp anyways, but I always have these in my bag. Now just a little thing of packaged tuna or chicken. Sometimes it grosses people up, but I dip my little chips in this. So this package is 12 grams of protein. This little bag of chips is 18 grams of protein. Okay, for just a little snack. A clean chicken stick, teriyaki stick, but get ones that are clean, that don't have the
Yeah.
sodiums, don't have
Chomp.
the nitrates.
Chicken
Yeah.
chomps or Palo
Chomps.
Valley.
Yeah, I love these, the Bear Bells protein bars. These are 20 grams of protein. I don't like to live on protein bars, but it's nice if you want a little snack. Or there's another one that I like. I like this one, and I like another one. It's a Puffs. Shoot, I didn't bring it. But anyways, they're both. So that your little hack for protein bars, whatever the calories are, you take off the 0, and your protein should be at least that many or more. So this bar is 200 calories. My protein is 20, so it makes the cuts.
It means it's clean. It's clean enough.
Well, and it's, but yeah, and so it's
enough.
you're getting a good amount of protein per ingredient. You don't want a crap ton of ingredients in your stuff either. So, and there's a couple of really nice, Fairlife does a really nice protein, it's a shake or a drink. You can get some that are like 26 or 46 grams of protein. That is, the sugar is clean. It's not super high in calories. So you want to eat real food as much as you can, but like when you do like shakes or bars, like just read the ingredients. And so that's huge for protein, an easy way to get in protein.
What's your little snacky there with cheese and stuff?
Oh, this is just a little quick break with like cheese and
almonds.
and raisins. But I mean, this is 6 grams of protein just for a little snack. So major inflammation reducers, and I'm interested to see. My goal is that in my 3-month scan, will I have changed my markings? So I went from 1 Slim a day. Now I'm drinking 2 a day, which I know you do always. But Slim is a huge inflammation reducer. I'm taking loading doses of these every day, which shout out to this from my race this weekend. I took some, I gave them to the whole team, morning, noon, and night. We lived on these for tired legs. And so it's a huge inflammation reducer. And then online, I bought turmeric. when you buy turmeric, it's a huge inflammation reducer, but you want to have your turmeric, it needs to have black pepper in it. And so this is a turmeric and curcumin, and black pepper. And so the amount of turmeric is 2,250 milligrams. So loading doses of this as well. So those are my pivots. Massively upping anti-inflammatory clean supplements, massively upping protein, Lumi deodorant.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy the perfect aminos, and much more heavyweight training.
Yep.
And so as we get older, like those are like little pivots. They're not crazy. It's more intentionality. More.
I was
being
gonna say,
thoughtful.
I started the protein thing after reading Mindy's book, or after that first thing, and I think that has been the biggest difference for me. And when I cheat and I don't do it, seeing the biggest, like,
Well, it helps with like cravings, like it's filling.
Every day I break my fast with cottage cheese and an avocado and
I saw on Instagram too. I'll give it to you as a recipe for avocado bread.
yeah.
Like it makes like little. It's just basically like avocado smashed up with maybe like a little bit of cheese and egg, or you bake it and it comes out fluffy like a hamburger bun.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
So there's all
been
kinds of
eating-
stuff out there.
Yeah, and I will say that I feel when I don't do it, like if I'm,
Yes.
whatever, I'm being grumpy or I don't want to be intentional or whatever, I notice way different and
Yeah.
how my rest of my day goes.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, but I would also say if you are fasting and you want your bigger meal to be later, but you need to break your fast because you don't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want to have a good dinner, so I want to break my fast with something smaller. I was like doing like 3, like trying to get, like, you can be tricky and still get that 30 grams in a lot smaller portion so that you're still hungry at dinner time. Because that's what I was doing wrong. I think I was breaking my fast with a
Big honking meal.
with a bake, like avocado toast with 2 eggs and cottage cheese with strawberries. Like it was like it was delicious and it was really clean and I felt really good. But then when dinner time came, I was like, I'm not even hungry. So then I wasn't thinking right about protein. So smaller when you break it, but high protein, smaller quantities.
Yeah. So being intentional. And I said one of my goals is, by the time I'm 50, I want to be the healthiest version of me. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to look the skinniest and the hottest.
Right.
But I want to be able to keep up with
same.
my kids. I want to be able to run a race with my boys if they want to do it. I want to be able to hike the Appalachian, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like I want to age well.
Yes.
And I'd like to be 100, even though none of you guys do. But
You know what? I've changed that
Okay.
because I realized I'm getting close to a half a
I
century.
know.
Half a century old. And when I thought
That was my
that, when I had that thought, I was like, I can see why you'd want to live to be 100. You lived a century.
You lived.
A whole century.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is cool.
It also means that our lives would not even be half over yet.
That's right. We're not halfway.
We've got a lot left to
Think
go.
of all the things that we still need to do.
And think of all the things we still need to do to stay healthy and age so that we can keep moving.
Yes. So maybe after you guys listen to this podcast, if you message us or put in the comments when we make our little reel, like pivots that you're doing, no matter what age you are, but pivots that you're doing to just be a healthier version of you. And it can be little tiny pivots. They do not have to be go big or go home.
Right. It all makes a difference. That's so good, Amy. Thank you.
All right, let me.
Really good. I need to get some of those snackies.
Okay, I need to just take some pictures now that. Okay. Cute. All right, so I gotta get some pics of you, Reach.
What would you call that, Amy? There was like intentional. I liked intentional,
Pivots?
healthy pivots.
Yeah.
I love
Reflections from a
my sister.
73-hour fast.
All right, I'm gonna stop this. Oh my, me, hello.